Good googly moogly, is there anything that you can do with something electronic that's not a danger? Hi, I'm Woody Huffines, all the nerds to go in McKinney in Frisco, Texas. This is Tech for the Untechnical. Tonight, my wife and I were at dinner, and I was telling her about another little thing that the bad guys have found to get into our electronic lives, and she was like, really? Is there anything that you can do with anything electronic that's just safe? No. The answer is probably no. The new attack, or the new threat vector that we all face, is QR codes. The reason we were talking about it, we were out to dinner, and on the table in the restaurant they got the little QR code because they can't hand out a paper menu because they might be mass murderers spreading the COVID. So you got to scan the thing with your phone and then look at the menu on your phone after you scan the QR code. And I started mentioning about what QR codes can do to your phone, which started this whole discussion about, is there anything that you can do that's safe? And the answer is probably no. Now remember, what the bad guys want to do is they want to get in a process that you do unconsciously, that you're not thinking about. Like, a long time ago, we used to just click on email attachments. And a long time ago, we used to go to websites and we didn't worry about things and we didn't pay attention to the little things. And that's what they want you to do, is they want you to get used to doing something that they can interpose themselves into to compromise your data, your security, or your information. For example, you're used to going up to the gas station and you put your card in the gas pump and you take it out and you drive on. Now we've all learned you need to wiggle the little card slot thing to see if there's a card reader put on it. And it's just something we need to do. Well, the newest one that people have started using against us is QR codes. What is a QR code? QR code is, well, here's an example of one. Those little patterns of dots. And it's like a step above a barcode. The QR code started back in the early 90s. The Japanese manufacturers were using them because it was a way to have a laser scanner, like you have a barcode scanner, that would contain a lot more information than just a string of numbers. The newest barcodes are like 177 by 177 QR codes, are great big, and they've got a ton of data. But what that barcode does is allows you to put a lot more information into the reading device than you get with a barcode, which is why they're using them in restaurants, because they can give you the website that you need to go to look at the menu. But if you scan a QR code with your phone and you hit go, what can that QR code do in your phone? Well, the first example is it can add a contact. If you scan a QR code and you approve whatever link pops up, it can add a contact to your phone, which then gives the bad guys a way to look like they know you, so that when you get a call, instead of just getting the number, you've got their name and a contact. And because they've got your name as a contact and you've added to the contact list, they can go in and use social engineering against you more easily because they've got they're in your contact list. It's like, how do I know this guy? What? You still answer the call. A QR code can institute a call. If you scan a QR code, it can put a phone number in your phone that automatically calls it. So just by scanning the QR code, you can end up making a call to somebody. And if they know where they put the QR codes, then they know where you're calling from. It's another way for them to use that information against you to steal data. A QR code scan can send a text message on your behalf. You scan the QR code, hit go, and it sends a text message to a specific number from your phone. Another way for them to get your personal information, your phone, your data. One of my favorite ones is if you can scan a QR code, it will write an email, because you can make the QR code. There's free resources online where you go say, I want to send an email by QR code, and you put in a to, and then the from is from the person whose phone it is, and you can put a message in. So you could scan a QR code, accept the link on the QR code, and all of a sudden you just send an email to you don't know who. QR codes are often used to follow social media accounts. It's a way for them to hijack you and get you to follow a social media account so that they can spam you through the social media account, or use a social media account for phishing or other social engineering attacks. You can scan a QR code and it assigns your phone to a Wi-Fi network. So if there's a Wi-Fi network around, let's just think of it this way. A bad guy goes into the restaurant. He's got a bunch of little QR codes that he's made up, and he puts them on all the tables that they've got the little QR thing, and you go in and sit down and you scan the QR code. The QR code tells your phone when you click on the link to assign a definitive Wi-Fi network, and all of a sudden he has you hooked up to his Wi-Fi network, which gives him an opportunity to then go hack your phone because you scanned a QR code and accepted it. And finally, and this is what they use QR codes for in restaurants, is it links you to a website. So they've got their menu online, and you sit down at the restaurant and you scan the QR code and hit the link, and it goes to their website and pops up that menu. But that QR code can also send you to a malicious website that's going to hijack your browser, download malware, do all those other things that you probably never would have gone to if you hadn't scanned that QR code. The whole idea here is that something that you now do as a matter of course, or something that you do without thinking. You sit at the restaurant, it's got the little QR code, you scan the QR code, it pops up a link, you poke the link. And if you don't get the link, if you don't get the menu, you scan it again, hit it again, you're not getting it. Well, every time you do that, you're reiterating that code that the QR code is running on your phone. And that's really the basis of most of the problems that we have in computer security, is somebody's getting you to do something to run code on your device, whether it's your computer, your laptop, your phone, whatever it is. And the QR code is a way to run code on your computer where you give it permission to do so. So how do you protect yourself from getting scammed by a QR code? Well, the first thing is look at the QR code. Make sure that the one that you've got at your restaurant's like all the rest of them, that somebody hasn't put one in, kind of slipped a needle in the haystack. So make sure that you're getting a QR code, or that you're reading that QR code from a good source. Second thing is only scan QR codes from trusted sources. It's a pretty good bet that if the restaurant's there and it's not a hinky looking QR code that somebody has obviously pasted on there, it's probably a good chance, especially if it's on the table in a little placard or holder, that it is the restaurant's QR code. But don't stand outside or scan QR codes unless you know you've got a pretty good idea of why you're scanning a QR code, because these QR codes now are just part of our lives because of the COVID evolution, where you're going into a restaurant and they're not giving you a paper menu. The last thing that you need to do is when you scan a QR code, look at the link that it presents. Ideally, it would be the restaurant's website that you're seeing. You know, if you're at Buffalo Wild Wings, it's a Buffalo Wild Wings website that you're going to. You need to be careful if you scan a QR code and it's a bit.ly link. And you've seen those links where they shorten. It's a URL shortener. URL is the Uniform Resource Locator. That's that www.amazon.com, and you run that through a bit.ly link, and it might be bit.ly/ and then a bunch of gibberish. Well, that is a code to send you to a website, and if you go to a restaurant and you get a QR code, pay attention to what it is that you're doing, because if it's a bit.ly link, it can take you to something that doesn't look anything like the restaurant's website. As an idea, you can put a plus sign at the end of a QR code and safely see what the website is without actually navigating to the website. So here we are in 2020, and this is just another way that the bad guys have found something that we do on a daily basis or a weekly basis that we don't really think about, that gives them the ability to run code on your resource, in this case your phone. So let's be careful out there. Don't just scan QR codes and mindlessly accept it. Pay a little bit of attention, just like you do when you get an email attachment, or you go to put your credit card in a gas pump. It's just another way that the bad guys are coming after us, because they found a way to get in between us and our technology. I'm Woody Huffines. This is Tech for the Untechnical. Hit the subscribe button, mash the like, give me a comment, and we'll see you soon.